Lubumbashi is second largest city in Democratic Republic of the Congo. The main industrial center of the mining district of southeastern Congo, it lies 110 miles, 180 kilometers, northwest of Ndola, Zambia. Lubumbashi is the name of a small local river. The town was established by Belgian colonists in 1910 as a copper mining settlement and was designated an urban district in 1942. Most regional mining companies are headquartered in Lubumbashi, which is the transportation center for mineral products, copper, cobalt, zinc, cadmium, germanium, tin, manganese, and coal, from the towns of Likasi, Kulbzi, Kipushi, and others. Mineral exploitation has been dominated by a government-owned organization, but foreign mining companies are also in evidence. The city's other industries include printing, brewing, flour milling, and the production of confectionery, cigarettes, brick, and soap. Lubumbashi has a civic auditorium, a national museum, a Roman Catholic cathedral, and the Society of Congo Historians, as well as the University of Lubumbashi, 1955. The city has road links to Kasai, Lake Mweru, Kalemi on Lake Tanganyika, northeastern Congo, and eastern Africa. There are rail routes from Lubumbashi to the Atlantic and Indian Oceans, and Luano International Airport is just outside the city. Lubumbashi is located in the country's southeasternmost part, along the border with Zambia. The capital and principal city of the Haut-Katanga Province, Lubumbashi is the center of mining in the region, acting as a hub for many of the country's largest mining companies. No definite population figures are available, but the population of the city's urban area is estimated to be around 2,584,000 in 2021. The Belgian government established the modern-day government in the city of Elisabethville, sometimes Elizabethville, both in French, or Elisabethstad in Dutch, in 1910, named in honor of Queen Elizabeth, consort to King Albert I of the Belgians. For by that time, the government had taken over the colony from King Leopold II, and renamed it as the Belgian Congo. This site was chosen by Vice-Governor-General Émile Wangermy because of its proximity to the copper mine of Etoile du Congo and the copper ore smelting oven installed by Union Minière du Haut-Katanga on the nearby Lubumbashi River. The Comite Special du Katanga, CSK, a semi-private concessionary company set up in 1900, had its headquarters in Elisabethville throughout the colonial era. It enjoyed major privileges, mainly in terms of land and mining concessions, in the Katanga province. The city prospered with the development of a regional copper mining industry. Huge investments in the 1920s, both in the mining industry and in transport infrastructure, rail line Elisabethville-Port Frankie and Elisabethville-Delilo, developed the Katanga province into one of the world's major copper ore producers. The population of the city grew apace from approximate 30,000 in 1930, to 50,000 in 1943 and 180,000 in 1957. It was the second city of the Belgian Congo, after Leopoldville. As was customary with European colonies, the city center of Elisabethville was reserved for the minority white, European, population. This consisted mainly of Belgian nationals, but the city also attracted important British and Italian communities, as well as Jewish Greeks. Congolese were allowed in the White City only during the day, except for the house servants, boys, who often lived in shanty dwellings, boiries, located in the backyards of the European city houses. Many men in the black population were labor immigrants from neighboring regions in the Belgian Congo, northern Katanga, Manyema, Kasai, from Belgian Rwanda and Burundi, and from British northern Rhodesia, present-day Zambia. The black population lived initially in a so-called site indigene called Quartier Albert, now Kamalondo, south of the city center and separated from the White City by a 700 meters wide neutral zone. With population growth, new indigenous quarters were created. These still form the main suburbs of present-day Lubumbashi, Kenya, Kituba, and Ruashi. The work and businesses related to the mines made Elisabethville the most prosperous region of the Congo during the last decade of Belgian rule. In 1954, There were 8,000 black homeowners in the city while thousands more were skilled workers. It was estimated that black Africans living in Elizabethville had a higher standard of living than anywhere else on the continent at that time. Miners in Elizabethville conducted a strike in December 1941 to protest the increasingly severe forced labor regime that the Belgians imposed on the population because of the war efforts. A rally in the Union Miniere football stadium got out of hand. Police opened fire and numerous protesters were killed. In early 1944, the city was again in the grip of severe tensions and fear of violent protests, following a mutiny of the Force Publique, Army, in Luluabourg. Starting in 1933, the Belgian colonial authorities experimented with a limited form of self-governance by establishing the site indigene of Elizabethville as a so-called centre extra-coutumier, a centre not subject to customary law. It was administered by an indigenous council and presided over by an indigenous chief. But due to constant interference from the Belgian authorities, the experiment soon proved a failure. The first indigenous chief, Albert Kabongo, appointed in 1937, was dismissed in 1943 and not replaced. In 1957, Elizabethville was established as a fully autonomous city. It held the first free municipal elections in which the Congolese could vote. The people of Elizabethville gave a vast majority to the Nationalist Alliance de Bakongo, which demanded immediate independence from Belgium. Elizabethville functioned as the administrative capital of the Katanga Province. It was also an important commercial and industrial center, and a center of education and health services. The Benedictine Order and Missionary Order of Salesians offered a wide range of educational facilities to Europeans and Congolese alike, including vocational training, Kafuabu. The Belgians established the University of Elizabethville in 1954 to 1955, now the University of Lubumbashi. Elizabethville served as the capital and center of the secessionist independent state of Katanga during the 1960 to 1963 Congolese Civil War. Moise Tshombe proclaimed Katanan independence in July 1960. Congolese leaders arrested him and charged him with treason in April 1961, however, he agreed to dismiss his foreign advisors and military forces in exchange for his release. Tshombe returned to Elizabethville but repudiated these assurances and began to fight anew. United Nations troops opposed Katanan forces and took control of the city in December 1961 under a strong mandate. Roger Trinquire, well known for his published works on counterinsurgency warfare, served as a French military advisor to President Tshombe until international pressure, led by Belgium, caused his recall to France. Mobutu Sese Seko ultimately assumed power of the Congo, which he renamed Zaire. He renamed Elizabethville as Lubumbashi in 1966 and in 1972 renamed Katanga as Shaba. In May 1990, the university campus of Lubumbashi was the scene of a brutal killing of students by Mobutu's security forces. In 1991-92 ethnic tensions between the Luba from Katanga and the Luba from Kasai, resident in the city, led to violent confrontations and the forced removal from the city of the latter. Congo entered another genocidal civil war in the late 1990s. The Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo rebels captured Lubumbashi in April 1997. Rebel leader Laurent Desire Kabila spoke from Lubumbashi to declare himself president of the Democratic Republic of the Congo on May 17, 1997 after Mobutu Sese Seko fled Kinshasa. When Laurent Desire Kabila decided to appoint a transitional parliament, in 1999, he decided to install the parliament in Lubumbashi, in order to consolidate the fragile unity of the country. The parliament was installed in the building of the National Assembly of Secessionist Katanga, the former city theater, which had its capital in the city as well, in the 1960s. Lubumbashi was therefore the legislative capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo from 1999 to 2003, when all the country's central institutions were brought back to Kinshasa. On September 7, 2010 a large prison break happened in Lubumbashi after gunmen attacked a prison on the outskirts of the city. 960 prisoners managed to escape, including the Mai Mai leader Gideon Kyungmutanga. On March 23, 2013, a militia group of 100 fighters attacked Lubumbashi and seized a United Nations compound, which was surrounded by Congolese soldiers and members of the President's Republican Guard. Lubumbashi lies at around 1,208 meters 3,963 feet above sea level. The high altitude serves to cool the climate, which would otherwise be very hot. The Kafi River rises along the Zambian border near the city and meanders through north-central Zambia to the Zambezi River, cutting a long, deep panhandle into the country. French is the official language, but the main spoken lingua franca in Lubumbashi is Kiswahili. The dialect of Kiswahili spoken all down the east side of Congo, including the provinces of North Kivu, South Kivu, Maniema, Katanga and Oriental, Western Kasai and Eastern Kasai, and almost all the way across to the Cotonou border with Angola is called Kingwana. As many people have moved into Lubumbashi for employment from rural areas, they have brought many other local languages including Kilaba, Chokwi, Bimba, and Kisanga. Kiswahili has been the chief language shared by most people. Lubumbashi serves as an important commercial and national industrial center. Manufactures include textiles, food products and beverages, printing, bricks, and copper smelting. The city is home to the Simba Brewery, producing the famous Tembo beer. The city hosts the headquarters of one of the country's largest banks, Trust Merchant Bank. The area also has a daily newspaper. Lubumbashi, the mining capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is a base for many of the country's biggest mining companies. The Democratic Republic of Congo produces more than 3% of the world's copper and half its cobalt, most of which comes from Katanga. The city serves as a distribution center for such minerals as copper, cobalt, zinc, tin, and coal. The city is crossed by Trans-African Highway 9, TA9, which connects it to the cities of Lusaka and Kolbza. Lubumbashi is the center of the railway lines from Cape to Cairo Railway, which serves as a link with the cities of Ilbo, Kindu, Tank, Sakania, and Ndola. In Tank, the city connects with Kolbza and Lobido, through the Bengala Railway. Lubumbashi is home to the modern Lubumbashi International Airport. The largest institution of higher education is the University of Lubumbashi, founded in 1955, with also the teaching institutions Protestant University of Lubumbashi and the Graduate Institute of Health Sciences. The Belgian International School École Privée Belge de Lubumbashi and the French International School Établissement Scolaire Français Blaise Pascal are in the city. Mwambo Kayasa popularized the concept of parks. Mwambo Park opened in 2010. Located about 15 kilometers from Lubumbashi, it is a large garden where children can play games, and adults relax. Other parks, or farms, include Mikambo and Futuka, once a reserve, now closed, on Kazanga Road in the city's outskirts. The Zoo of Lubumbashi is one of the most visited tourist attractions. It was created during the colonial period, and is considered the most attractive zoo in the country. During the years of war, it deteriorated, but it has been rehabilitated by AZLU, a non-profit organization. By 2007, great animals had been acquired for the zoo. AZLU is keeping the zoo for education purposes, and the protection of the natural heritage of the country, as it can be read on signs. Today, it has almost been restocked with lions, tigers, monkeys, apes, pelicans, warthogs, crocodiles, snakes, turtles, monitor lizards, eagles, parrots, ostriches, gazelles, etc. Apart from animals, the zoo features a restaurant, a veterinary center, and a termite museum. Attractions in the city include a botanical garden, a zoo, and the Regional Archaeological and Ethnological National Museum of Lubumbashi. Every 2 years, the Biennale of Lubumbashi is held across the city, showcasing works by artists from the region. In an interview in Ocula magazine in 2019, the Biennale's artistic director, Sandrine Collard explained, the Congo is a country that is perpetually in the future. All of these different periods coalescing in one city is something I wanted to address. Bogomil Joziwiki says that contemporary Lubumbashi art making is weak, especially when compared to the Kinshasa. He writes, "No Lubumbashi popular painter has had an international career like that of the Kinshasa artist Chiri Samba, and there are in fact a number of artists and musicians in Kinshasa whom the whirlwind of international success has whisked farther from local audiences than any artist in Lubumbashi, and not only in Lubumbashi but in the surrounding province of Katanga." He names painters like Pili Pili, Mwenz, Angali, Nkolo W. Nkolo, Maka, Chwimbumba, Dekab, and others. Cine Betamax, formerly Cine Palace and Cine Eden, are the only modern movie theaters in the city which generally show popular recent Hollywood productions as well as NC-17 films. However, they also show movies about Congolese and African recent history like Mr. Bob, Sniper, Reloaded, SEAL Team 8, Behind Enemy Lines, and Tears of the Sun. Before films, they both showed Congolese and international music videos, and US wrestling. The communication department of the University of Lubumbashi has collaborated with the movie theater to show students films. Cine Betamax in particular also screens great football matches, and local singers' concerts and Christian meetings are regularly held here. Nigeria's Nollywood films are also, as in many other parts of the DRC and Africa, popular among the residents. These films are often sold on VCD and DVD platforms. The popular music from Kinshasa is much appreciated and played in Lubumbashi. Jean Bosco Mwenda is likely the most famous Katangese musician. Many of his songs have become classical, and are endlessly remixed by new young artists. Modern Lubumbashi singers fall into two groups, those who play soukous, such as Joe Kazai and KP Prince, and those who play international urban music, such as Said Concept, Chumani, Mjo, RJ Kanyura, Oxygen, Agresivo, Nelson Chui, and De Costa on the other. Most artists are influenced by successful DJ Spilulo's productions, Kinshasa singers Fally Ipupa, Fairgola, and world music. Lubumbashi music is characterized by the use of many languages, Swahili, Lingala, Chwilaba, French and some English, in the lyrics. It is rare to hear songs composed in only one language. This code switching and mixing expresses the cosmopolitan character of the city, but some critics think it weakens the lyrics, which seem to be particularly made for teenagers anyway. Serge Mansuba and Caribbeana are humorous singers featured by G. Sparks. The Institut Français, formerly known as Centre Culturel Français, located in the heart of the city, contributes a great deal to the cultural and artistic life of Lubumbashi. Students and researchers spend time in its library. It shows European and other French language films, produces plays and other shows in its theater, and features local singers' records for sale on display at the entrance. Radio Okapi's Lubumbashi presenters participate each Saturday evening in Métissage, the cultural program of the radio. The whole country is informed of the cultural activities in the city. RTNC, Congolese National Radio and Television, has a provincial station located in Lubumbashi district at the junction of Lubumbashi and Sando. It has been very influential from the 1960s to the mid-1990s, at the end of the one-party system, and before the information technology revolution. Zenith Radio, the first independent radio station in the city, started broadcasting in 1996, since then numerous radio and television stations have been established. They can be classified in three groups: religious channels, Zenith, RTIV, Canal de Vie, RNS, etc., commercial channels, RTA, Mwangeza, Nyota, RTLJ, Malika, Kyondo, etc., and mixed ones like Wantungshi Radio and Television. Football is the most popular sport in Lubumbashi. The city is home to football clubs of the top national level such as FC Saint Eloi Lupopo, CS Don Bosco and TP Mazembe. TP Mazembe is the most successful club in national competitions and the most successful Congolese club in international football, achieving 5 Africa's Champions League and reaching a FIFA Club World Cup final. The chairman of Mazembe is the former governor of the province of Katanga Moise Katumbi Chapwe. Until 1960, Congolese football was segregated between whites-only and blacks-only leagues and competitions. In 1911 the whites-only Ligue de Football du Katanga was founded in Elizabethville, organizing in 1925 the first official local championship called the B. Smith Cup. The Katanga tournament was won by teams from Lubumbashi every recorded season except 2005. Simultaneously 3 blacks-only regional tournaments were played in the country. In 1950, the Black Elizabethville Football Association, FASI, Fédérations et Associations Sportives Indigènes, had over 30 affiliated clubs competing in 4 leagues divided over 3 divisions. Both black and white tournaments in Lubumbashi and the country were played simultaneously until 1960, when they were unified. Since then the traditionally black clubs have dominated both local and national football. The Black Ligue de Football du Elizabethville, now renamed the Ligue de Football du Lubumbashi, is the city's football tournament, organized since 1960 by the city's federation EFLU. FC Saint Eloi Lupopo won the EFLU League 25 times in all up to 2003, being the most successful club in the seasons for which records are known, some are not known. Basketball players Myck Kabongo and Bismack Biambo are from Lubumbashi. Oscar Chwibwe, the Consensus 2022 NCAA Division I Men's Player of the Year at the University of Kentucky, is also from Lubumbashi. Thank you for watching this video.